Relationship with AOK Capital, who's and Alan Pace, who's the chairman of Burnley now, and they American group who just acquired a team recently. We've done some other business with them, and simply just asked, like, hey, is there any room in this deal? And they saw value in my team to help with some of the advertising and branding here in the States. Same way that the NFL is expanding to the UK. They're trying to do the same thing for the Premier League and its players and teams. So they found value in myself and my team of folks to add to the ownership piece.
You a big soccer guy?
I am now. I've grown up. I played as a track athlete in American football my entire life, but obviously sports is something I know very, very well, and so it's definitely a new venture for me. But sports is sports, and I know how to build brands. And obviously I've done a decent job with my own personal brand and the businesses. So it was something that I thought fit well into our portfolio.
You get a lot of Ted Lasso jokes.
A lot of them. Yeah, that's nonstop. Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not going to coach. That's not what's happening. But it's all good.
You're like Rebecca then.
Yeah, right. Nobody knows what I do. I'm just there.
Hey, Malcolm, Sean's done a really good job after the bye, it seems like. Is that something that he does differently than maybe some of the other teams you play with as far as how they handle the bye?
Well, I think he trusts his players a lot because he usually gives us the entire week off, allows us to step away from the game, get our minds and bodies back. But when we come back, he's good at getting us right back into the routine, keeping us focused on the here and now. And so far this week, I think it's probably the sharpest practices we've had really to date. So he just does a great job of, it's a culture that he's built, and he sticks to the things that he knows. It's been working for, some seasons now. It's just how he runs his program.
Is it a lot different from how it was in Philly as far as the whole week off or whatever?
No, they would give us a lot of days off, maybe not the whole week, but, I think every team is different. Every organization has different philosophies, and in teams, when they change head coaches, sometimes they change culture, change philosophy. So, but obviously, Sean, being here as long as he has, he believes in having the success he's had. He believes in his formula.
Malcolm, this defense obviously was not waiting for everyone to come back healthy to start establishing an identity. But how much untapped potential is there still for this team?
Well, I think we've been in a race to improve, every game. And I think even though we can look at rankings and feel like, okay, we're at a solid place, I think we felt like we probably underperformed so far this season, haven't been as consistent as we want it to be. And so adding players that are quality players back from, injury or whatever it is always makes you better, adds more depth. So we're excited for another opportunity to compete, for another opportunity to get better, whoever that is on the field.
Specifically, getting some of those pass rushers back, how does it help you guys in the secondary, especially like David coming back?
We talk about the epitome of team defense is pass coverage, and because you have to have a rush on the passer and you got to have coverage. Both of those things coincide. You can't cover, then you oftentimes can't get to the quarterback. If you can't get to the quarterback, then you cover him way too long. And for us, we'll be able to see immediately what that those players being inserted into the lineup, what that does for our defense.
Kind of going back to the culture stuff, how big a role does Sean play in you guys being able to rebound from the hurricane thing and from missing as many players as you had this year, missing Drew last year, all that sort of stuff?
I think he does a great job of also putting the onus on the leadership and players and making sure that we also curate the culture.
Yeah.
And so he makes decisions. We go to Dallas, and he's like, we're going to focus on what we can control, and that is carried out by the captains on the team, which is followed by every other leader, every position. And then all of a sudden it's not abnormal, because you look at your leader, he's not flinching. You look at the other captains, they don't seem like they're bothered by it. So nobody trips. We just focus on what we can control, which is our preparation, how we compete week in and week out, whether it's in Dallas, whether it's here, whether we got to go on the road. Nobody cares at the end of the day. All right? It's all about how we perform on Sundays. And so when we keep the main things the main thing, it kind of makes it a lot easier to block out those distractions and not allow yourself to make excuses for failure.
It also allows you to take ownership of it too, right? 'Cause it's not just like, okay, it's my way, we're getting it done my way,
Right.
through it my way.
It's our way. I mean, everybody feels like their role has something to do with our success as a team. It's not just, coach is not playing Madden, with a bunch of robots. It's a collective effort, and he listens, to the captains with what the players need. And I think that relationship just makes everything a lot easier when you talk about dealing with adversity.
Sir?
Cool.
Thanks, bro.
No problem.